11:02, I see. As a preliminary matter, this is Rob Benchley, Chairman of the SelectSconset Advisory Board. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond. Caroline Ellis.
Here.
Thank you. Mary Lathrop Will.
Here.
Angus McLeod.
Looks like we lost Angus.
Huh.
Oh,
Well, I saw him a minute ago.
he was here.
Anyway, I'll continue. Clement.
It's just mute.
Turkeys. I don't see Clement. That's okay. We've got 3 and 4. Where am I? Oh yeah. Good morning. This open meeting of the SelectSconset Advisory Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's Executive Order, March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials of this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the SelectSconset Advisory Board is convening via video conference on the Zoom app is posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. That takes on a whole different meaning these days, doesn't it? Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. And now we're turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I'll go down in the line and members inviting each to name, provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. And remember to mute your computer when you're not speaking and to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. And remember, if members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After the members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment on those members of the public who have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged and speak through the chair. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. And having said that, I will take a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. And I'll call the roll on that. All in favor, Caroline?
Yes.
Mary Lathrop Will?
Yes.
Angus, if you're there?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I'm experiencing technical difficulties. Sorry for the lack of visual here.
That's okay. Your little avatar there looks pretty stunning. Clement.
Great.
Turkeys?
I have no idea what that is.
Yes. Here.
Thank you. All right, good. Motion made, seconded, and unanimous. And I'm going to suggest that we do take these out of order. Well, we can do number 2 first, since we have a representative for Pam Murphy at 7 Bunker Hill Road. And this is for a fence. I looked at the I looked at the an updated version of that. Yeah, see that? I guess that lot that's different than what's on the town's website. So this website hasn't been updated, but
That's
so
correct.
at some point along the line, the property line got changed.
That's
and it-
correct.
So are we talking about lot 1 or lot 2?
We are talking about a 5-foot cedar fence that will bisect lot 1 and lot 2, running from New Siasconset Street down to it's not showing that other lot. I think that's lot number 5 below that.
Where is New Siasconset Street?
Well,
It's
it's
That's at the
New
top,
Street.
the top of the site plan.
Never seen that.
So unfortunately, the town website has not been updated to show the new boundaries here. So it does make it a little bit confusing. I can tell you it was quite confusing for me.
Yeah, that process takes about 18 months, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea. Wow. So this map that we're currently looking at, the site, I believe it was just the site plan, correct? Is accurate, registered, and that clearly shows where the new proposed fence will go.
Is
This is,
Is the fence already up?
no, ma'am, we have not received permitting for that. So this is a picture from Nantucket Fence Company from their archives on what the owner proposes to do. So there is a privet hedge all the way around the circumference. None of this fencing, it's a mature privet hedge, I might add. None of this fencing will be visible at all from the street.
there we go. Okay.
So this is a lot of, Rob, may I ask a question? It's Mary.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so this is a lot which is essentially 41 to 42 feet in width. And am I correct that the proposal is to put the fence up preliminary to either the sale of or the development of that lot?
Rob, may I answer that question?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so this is Deborah. This sale has already gone through. What we have is an owner who, this was a subdivision. And there is a house on lot number 2 in the lower part of that dog leg. And what the owner has done, and the owner's name is Koch, has purchased lot number 1 as shown on the site plan, dividing lot 2 to add to their, what am I going to call it? To add to their lot, for lack of a better word. And for whatever reasons, they want to have the fence there. It's kind of divided a little bit oddly, and I realize it makes it very difficult to be able to see. But I think we need to really take this view quite literally. And I did include some updates with some photos on there that were taken from both streets. That may help. Rob, I don't know if those are available at this time.
Okay.
Chair, I don't have those. Unfortunately, Deborah, all I have are the application that
Oh.
you see before you.
Okay.
If it was submitted after the fact, after it was submitted to our admin staff, then it may have not been an accessible location for me when I acquired these for today's meeting.
Okay. I did drop them off a week ago. And I included a cover letter on that, so hopefully that they would have, because I think that the photos are probably quite important to this.
Right. Was it scanned into HDC submissions. Somebody's got YouTube on, or not, something's going on. It's weird.
And Rob, who would be scanning those in? Would that be something that would have been my responsibility?
That I don't know, but I think Holly could tell you that.
Okay,
Yeah, so all applications when they are submitted to the HDC, so you probably personally came to the office and dropped off in the box,
I
right,
did.
outside? Okay. You're also required to scan your application in its entirety to HD Submissions, which is the website, which is available on the town's website, that the staff compiles together, because as you can imagine, with the hundreds and hundreds of applications that come through, they can't scan everything.
Sure. Okay, that didn't happen.
Okay. I'm gonna look real quick to see if somehow it's within the main PDFs for tonight before the commission.
Holly, while you're looking, I wanted to ask Deborah if, so there's a house. Oh, I see. Okay, so there's Pam's house, and then her sort of 4, 5, 6-sided lot. Okay, so those two lots were subdivided. I see. I got it now. Gotcha. Yeah. There it is there.
I'm afraid it took Robert. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Are there any buildings on those two lots either side of the yellow line at the moment?
There is a building at the lower portion of Lot 2, a completed structure. Exactly, kind of low down in that area. And going forward, I think the owners, which are the Kogs, K-E-O-G-H, those are the current owners, are certainly planning on doing some development in that lot. So they want to, they want to realize their privacy there.
And excuse me, this is Mary. The Kogs own lots 1 and 2 or lot 1?
Correct.
They own both. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where is, excuse me, this is Caroline. I don't understand where Pam's house is
Pam's house is the house on the right
on lot 3.
on lot 3.
Okay, all right.
This is Clement, and I can tell you that when you drive by, she has put, I thought it was Pam, but maybe it's not, had put up a temporary kind of a green plastic fence from New Street down to the other lot. I thought it was identifying lot 1, not realizing that lot 1 and lot 2 were owned by the same people. So that seems to me to make no sense, except that it, if you wanted to visualize what it might look like, you can drive down New Street and see this green meshy plasticky fence.
Yes.
That's what I was referring to. I'd
Yeah,
seen that.
that's
yesterday.
correct. I think we're going to call that like a wind fence, a privacy. It's kind of a landscape product.
But I agree that you will see it, but not significantly from either street.
One other comment to add to this mix, the mature privet that surrounds 3 sides of lot 1 has recently been renovated. So there is, at this point in time, there's more visibility than there will be in the future. I can give you more input on that if you want to know more about privet and how we renovated as landscapers. But the goal is to have even less visibility of that fence. And of course, goes without saying that it's going to be 40 feet away.
I see. So Pam Murphy is not necessarily involved in this. This is just the Keoghs who are.
That's right, Rob. That's right.
Okay. I was just confused because her name is on the application, but then that's because it used to be her land.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
I'm afraid it is all very confusing because this is a subdivision and it did get redivided. And as we all know, it has not been recorded. It has, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, I think it's fairly straightforward.
This right here is the most important thing. It got,
Yeah.
and down here, it got approved by the planning board and it got filed at the registry of deeds. So it's legit.
It's legit.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody have any comments? I mean, they are all over the village, like behind Evelyn Street, and
I'm sorry, Rob, what is all over the village?
I'm sorry. There are fences like this.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yes, we're committed to working with someone who, is a proven contractor
Yeah.
on this. Nantucket Fence Company does a tremendous amount of work, and all their work, as I'm sure everyone present knows, is excellent quality.
Rob, this is Mary. I have no concerns about this type of fence. I think it's a little bit too bad to see quite so much infill as we're going to be seeing here, but that's not the question at hand. It's been approved, so the fence itself is fine.
Mary, the other thing that is in the works is I have already completed a design for the client at their request, and they are planning on doing a landscape border there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the plants that I will be using will be some of the hydrangeas from their existing property. So a good portion also of this fence is going to be softened by plantings, permanent plantings.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
This is Clement. My only concern, I mean, as to why they're doing this, if they own lot 2, and it sounds as if perhaps they want to develop lot 2 and keep lot 1 separate. So we haven't seen what potentially might develop on lot 2, but that's not the question here. So I would assume that, the fence is fine with me, no objections.
Okay.
This is
Anybody
Angus.
else weighing in? Please go ahead.
I have real concerns about a fence of this density and height and overall length. It's 122 feet long. And it's typically the kind of fence that would be between buildings that are very close together or at the back of a lot. But without having this in context, without seeing the buildings and the landscaping that surrounds it, I'm really uncomfortable with the idea of this stretching for this length, all parallel, one narrow lot back from Bunker Hill Road.
Yeah, without any buildings on it.
That's right. No location of the buildings to see where the fence will be seen or not seen, and no landscape plan to again to show what would be actually visible.
So possibly it could come in on a future application that shows a house, a proposed building on either of the lots.
Exactly. Just giving context to it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with this kind of fence. There are lots of appropriate places for it. It's just without looking at 2 bare lots being separated by this fence doesn't work in my mind.
Angus, can I attempt to address your comments, please?
Please.
Go ahead.
I can get wrapped around with what you're saying. And I'm wondering if there's a way that I can offer up some additional photographs that might show the Koch's existing home and the structure that on lot 2 that belongs to Pam Murphy. Would that perhaps be helpful here?
Yeah,
I'm familiar with Pam's house and everything around it. But what I'm looking at in the plan and is just bare lot. Pictures, plans, anything to put this in context would really be helpful.
Okay, let's take this a step further. If I may, would it be useful to you to see some photographs? You say you are familiar with the Murphy house and where it currently sits. So give me a little bit more of an idea on what might be helpful for me to photograph.
Well, I think, Deborah, this is Rob. I think photographs of that shows what it looks like on the ground is going to help, and especially it's going to help with the HDC, the main body of the HDC. I've sat in a number of meetings, and because of this whole COVID stuff and the way we have to do business, the photographs are key, and I know they will say that to you as well. So if you can come back with some photographs that shows the relationship, any land features, the privet, for example, is there privet along Bunker Hill Road?
Mhm.
Just to give us a better visual idea. I mean, we don't like holding people up, but we also, we're kind of in a pickle with the way we have to do our work these days, and photographs are really important.
Okay, let me go back to my drawing board and attempt to find out how I can scan in some additional photos that show the structures, the existing structures here, and attempt to figure out how I can scan in the photos, move the photos to the location that you want me to put them in. I could, some clarification there would be helpful to me, please.
Deborah, feel free to email them to me.
Okay.
It's hbackus, BACKUS,
ACKUS.
at Nantucket
Nantucket.
-MA
Just a moment. -MA. Okay.
.gov.
.gov. That would be most helpful.
Absolutely. And are you aware, and I apologize, I don't have the agenda right in front of me. Are you on the agenda for this evening? For the commission?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just saw this come up, and I thought that I was, but then this came up. So
Gotcha.
I'm just not clear.
Okay. Well, SCONSET advisory is exactly that. They're an advisory board for the HDC. If they are meeting this evening, if you're on the agenda and they get to it, they can discuss it. So what I'm getting at is the sooner you can email me photos to help the context, that would be great. I just don't want to hold you up as well. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
you're welcome.
I will, if it will help it move along, I will do that immediately.
Deborah, I was going to say what would be helpful for pictures would be maybe a couple of pictures from Bunker Hill Road from the southwest corner towards the middle of the fence, and from the northwest corner towards the fence, and maybe even across at Sunset Ridge, and photographing sort of almost what would be alongside the fence.
Sure.
Sure. The length of it.
It's just unfortunate that I did not scan those photos in, because I think we might have been able to get what we needed from those photos and move forward and take some action on this.
And also, if there are any plans in the works for houses on either lot or any sort of development, just roughly, penciling those in to see what it is. Normally, our landscaping follows the approval of the architecture. So we would already have a house and a driveway and, all that, and then be looking at the landscape elements of fences and patios and paths and that sort of thing.
Sure, I understand that. What you're saying, Angus, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angus.
Okay, I'm satisfied with the information that you've shared with me, and I know what I need to do, and we'll do it. So I'm all set. Thank you.
Deborah,
all.
I did want to let you know you are on the agenda under the second set of new business.
Mhm.
Likely the chance of the HDC getting to your application tonight is very unlikely with the amount of applications that they have carried over from last week. So with that said, you would be carried over to the next available meeting. So obviously anything that you can email me ahead of time, I'll make sure that they get it.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Deborah.
Thank you, Rob. Everyone have a good afternoon and be well and safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, we'll go back to number 1 on the agenda, 28 Main Street for pool and hardscaping.
We've also, excuse me, Rob, it's Mary. I
Yeah.
noticed Tony Buscarin is on already. He's also got a fence application in for 44.
Okay,
Do you want to go to that next?
yes, sure.
Out of order.
All right, then we'll move to item number 3, 44 Burnell Street. And I believe we have Tony Buscarin, who's representing himself. This is for a fence on his property adjacent to,
Holly, this is Mary. Holly, you're showing the Main Street, and we're going to change the agenda up a bit. Go
Yep.
to,
Sorry
Yep.
about that.
No, that's fine.
Thanks for letting me know.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the
It's the Pioli's new driveway.
Pioli.
Yeah, they had to
yes.
put, when the property, the driveway, which has been, I can speak to this since this was my father's property, or my property as well. So the driveway, a 40-foot wide driveway existed on paper. It was actually only 20 feet wide. It was a nice country lane that went from Burnell into the two houses 50 and 52, 50 being the farthest back. That driveway has been there for since 1972. However, because of action taken by one of the half owners of that driveway, the owner who had the shorter 20-foot segment to the north of this driveway that the Buscarins are having to deal with. Anyway, the current owner, Scott and Dallas Pioli, had to separate the driveway in order to gain access to their property, despite the fact that it had been a shared driveway for well over 40 years. So the land where the new driveway is considerably closer to the Buscarins' property. And I think that's the reason for the fence, is so that they don't have to see this new straight driveway, which was once a country lane. Look.
Lined with cedar trees that,
Yeah.
that got taken out.
Yeah.
I think that neighborhood is, I mean, it's not, obviously it's not in the heart of Sconset. And I don't know, I think that fence is fine for that area.
Rob, this is Clement.
Yeah.
I think fencing is great, and I know that neighbors down this new road a little bit, they have the same kind of a stockade fence. So it would fit right in and is necessary, I think, for all properties. So I think good that the Buscarons are doing this.
Agreed. Caroline or Angus, any thoughts? I just want to give you your chance to chime in
So-
if you would like.
Is this a private road that's been cleared there?
It's a private driveway.
Is there going to be any planting along the fence?
I would only, I'm making an assumption that there would be. I do not know that for a fact. Because there had been, as I said, there was all lined with cedar trees between the lawn and the new driveway. And they had to take them out to put the road in, put the driveway in, I mean. And so it would be nice if that was the case, but that's not up to the applicant in this case, because it's,
Right. The cedars would have been the preferable screen rather than the fence, but
Well, the preferable stream was having a winding road with natural vegetation on either side of it, but that became impossible when the owner to the north of this driveway decided to keep the people to the south, the Piolis, from using their shared part of the driveway, though it had been a shared driveway for well over 40 years.
awkward.
Mm.
You guys are more familiar with this area than I am. So I'll trust your judgment on that.
I don't have any problems.
great. Okay, so I guess we're good with that. Is this something you can just, I mean, can you go to Island Lumber or Marine or something and just buy sections of that stockade fence? I'm just guessing, probably yes. No answer, that's okay, all right.
I
So
see
that's
some-
okay, all right, thank you very much. And if, I don't know if Tony's there or Mary's there, but anyway, thanks for
Someone-
coming in. I'm having a little trouble with my audio. I hope, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, all right, good, thanks. So should we go to item number 1? This is the former Arnoff house, am I correct?
Correct. We didn't see the landscaping when we looked at this last week, or the week before, we saw just the changes to the back of the house. This is Village of Rome.
Chair,
So
this is
the
Angus.
barn isn't included, okay.
I feel like this is going to be well screened. It's behind the house. I don't have any issues with it.
Yeah, I don't have any issues because of for the same reason. And I have issues with it being a swimming pool, but that's out of my control and I don't understand it.
I have a question, Rob, about swimming pools on Main Street. I guess they're allowed on this side of the street. There is one next door to this house. So yeah, never mind. I'm sure they're allowed. What am I saying?
Yeah, Zoo Fest has that one.
It does, yeah.
It depends on the zoning. VR right now, which is mostly in Mattakit, is the only one that requires pools to be a special permit before the zoning board. And then, of course, they also, our pools are not allowed within the old historic district. So if it's zoned old historic district, then it's not.
You'll probably hear this from the old historic.
I was
Wow, I hope so.
Where is the
I-
pool equipment?
That's
It would be
always
nice
our
to know where
question.
that.
Oh, it's that lower left gray. It says pool equipment right there. Your arrow was just on it. Nope, back the other way. It says, see down there. Yeah, that says pool equipment. And a future garage.
Pool equipment, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen the garage, I don't believe.
No,
We
that's
have,
the future says.
I do remember when we were talking about what they should do with their driveway. So this is actually nice. It just comes straight off Main Street and goes straight back without marring the front of the home. I mean, I agree with everyone's sentiment on pools, but spa, upper and lower bluestone patios, they're jamming a lot on that little property, but never mind. It is back behind the house and we will not see it.
If I had bought it, it wouldn't be there, so there.
And just to clarify, Mr. Chair, if I may,
Please.
this lot is zoned SR 10. So yes, it's in the old historic district of Sconset, but it's, the zoning is SR 10. I just was referencing the old historic district in town, which does not allow pools,
okay.
just for clarification.
Can
There
we
are-
change that when we all get together to talk about making our maps the same?
Well,
Yeah,
when you all get to talk about your advisory board
Right.
areas, yes, but do note that any changes to zoning will require town meeting approval and going through that whole particular
That's okay.
process, so.
That's okay.
Out of consideration for the neighbors, I'd rather see the pool equipment go to the right side or the west side of the future pavilion rather than on the face of the garage.
Rob, may I speak to that?
please, yes, please.
Okay, the Zoo Fest equipment is, their pool is, you can't see it here, but it's at the back of their lot, right, Mary? And
Correct.
remember, and their pool equipment bothers the people behind them because they put it against their fence. So I would not do that. I would not do the suggested things which would affect the Vecties. The Zoo
That-
Fest already
right.
has a pool.
So where the pool equipment is shown on the south side of the garage, that will send the, bounce off the garage and go south, east and west.
Right.
And the Reeds who are south of Zoo Fest are already impacted by the pool equipment of Zoo Fest, and this will exacerbate that.
We'd have to see the plan, but I believe that the pool that affects the Reeds is farther toward town.
Yeah, but
I don't know if you can see, but
situated, Angus, who knows that property better than any of us, is correct, that it will definitely.
so that's where the equipment is, and that's where the equipment's already getting to here. So it will come right across there.
Yeah,
But the blue is what we're talking about today. No, the
Yeah.
33 to the right is this property, is it not? Or is that the Vecties is 26?
the Vecties is the big lot that goes all the way through to Lily Street. That's next.
So that's to the right.
Mhm.
That's
That's-
the Vecties. The house we're talking about is 28.
Yep,
Zoo Fest is 30 and 2 probably.
right there, yep.
Okay, and 6 is,
That's Robbins, and that's the one that's hearing all the pools. Or the Zoo Fest pool, but you're right. I mean, look at the way that's situated, that corner bedroom's gonna be noisy. On lot,
I just don't think that they would, the applicant would have anything to lose by having it beside the pavilion instead of at the garage. At least the existing barn on the old, when it was all one property, would absorb some of that sound or block some of that sound from going to neighbors.
And here, the existing barn is there.
Yeah, but don't you all think that the existing barn is toast as soon as that property sells?
Yeah, but that's a future thing, Mary. I think we can't worry about, well, any place you put it, I guess it's gonna bother someone. You think the Vectis won't mind it?
The Vectis are to the east, right? And so if this is on the west side of the pavilion, it would go, the sound would go west, away from them, right?
So you're saying where it says 18.8, that's where you'd put it, to the left of that?
I would recommend that if it's possible. It's closer to the pool.
That's a future pavilion.
That's right.
It's also a future garage. So the question is if you can move the pool equipment from the future garage to the future pavilion,
Mhm.
where it is closer to the pool. So that makes rational sense.
The future pavilion could also be the former,
That little house,
that little party house, that little doll's house.
right.
Rob, you could probably speak to that.
I have to admit, I was only in that little dollhouse once. And that was a couple of years ago.
Oh, and that's another story, Rob, I bet.
That story's pretty dull.
Okay.
Too bad.
I was looking for a place for Rick to live.
Oh. We all vote.
Uh,
We'll tell the new owners.
Okay. I'm going to build a garage. I'm going to put in my application for a garage pretty soon, and I'm going to name the garage Future.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so
That's fine to put it near the future pavilion.
yeah, it would be nice if they would not, obviously they don't want to listen to their own pool equipment, but they shouldn't foist it on somebody else.
Any other concerns on the hardscaping itself proposed?
Yeah, it's lack of visibility.
Exactly.
Got it.
It really reconfigured the house. Wow.
All right, other business. I did a drive-by at 19 Broadway for that unit, and they did screen it, but I
Okay.
haven't looked, but I haven't, I only go by it every time I leave the house, and I've forgotten to look at the pipes and everything, so I'm not sure where it stands. Anybody else seen it
I
recently?
was there yesterday. They've
Okay.
enclosed all of the outside. Well, there were all different types of heating units that all have that same grid on it. And it's just the depth of it was my only worry.
Yeah,
It seemed that it was deeper than it needed to be, but
yeah,
that is,
it does, it does infringe on the right of way there. There's no question.
Okay. Okay. It's all up to the applicant to sign up to the inspections, as you
Yeah.
can imagine. And in order for staff to go out there and do the inspection on that. So I don't know if they've signed up or not. That's something that I'd have to touch base with the rest of staff on and see
Okay.
if that's been done.
Well, we'll just leave it there.
Sounds
And
good.
I have a question for Carolyn.
yeah,
Caroline,
thank you.
if I'm allowed to ask about another person from the sign committee, but were you able to get any response from Kevin?
I can give you an update. I've sent a memo to Kevin outlining the Marconi situation. The NHA is closed until November 9th. So I will hear back from Kevin, and as soon as the NHA opens, I'll go to whoever does their sort of attic, their holding thing, to see if they have the sign that was there, if it was turned into them. So I'm actively working on it, and I'll send the copy goes to you, Rob, of the letter that I'm sending to Kevin. Okay,
Okay,
it's in my drafts.
very nice. Okay, any other business? I see that, I think 10 Beach Street is coming up this afternoon. I think it's on today's agenda.
That's
They
the
normally,
Wilner property?
Wilner.
The
Yes.
Wilner property, yeah. It's carried over from 29th. We've got a lot of carried over.
You got a lot of applications, that's for sure. God, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I sat in on the last meeting for the Beach Street thing, and the owners are not really responding. And well, this is my impression. They aren't really responding the way the HSC would like them to, which is they keep coming back with a second story thing. They did get rid of the second story deck. I had a feeling that they don't like it for the same reasons that we don't. But the owners are still pushing it. So that's the status.
Is there any reason we're not seeing revisions? Is there anything new being presented?
No, I
Let's
think it's
see.
just how it's been signed up and put on the, again, I can't speak for how it works.
Oh, because it keeps getting continued and they come back.
Correct.
And yeah,
When
So
it's
I'm pretty-
continued, if there are any revisions, we would see it, right?
I believe
Yes.
normally.
Yes, but if it normally, right, but the way some of these things that the advisory boards are seeing prior to the HDC, and HDC does not get to them because the length of the agenda, the amount of applications, so it gets pushed and
So what the
pushed.
HPC is seeing is what we've already seen ourselves.
Should be, yes.
Yes.
And
That's
if not, it's because it was something that was reviewed. It was submitted before getting on your agenda. Because again, there's that 48-hour turnaround that you have to, for open meeting law purposes, for them to assign. So if an application doesn't get submitted by the deadline for the HDC, your agenda has to be posted before there. Again, I have to rely on the folks up front. They do a fantastic, enormous job. I can't speak for why things don't go in front of you all, and they do. I can try, just we're doing the best we can. That's all I can ask for is patience. So unfortunately, the world that we're in, I don't think we're going anywhere anytime soon. But I would highly recommend, if there's anything that's put on the HDC's agenda that you all don't get to see for one reason or another, it's not placed on your agenda, please look at it if you have the time and chance to do that and to confirm. And if you have any concerns that you want me to pass along, please email them to me. That's all I can offer on that.
Holly, you're at those meetings. You know what our concerns are. Losing
Absolutely.
a historic building and
Yep.
having something in the context of old Codfish Park. So I mean, I guess you can beat that dead horse as much as we can. And we appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
Before we close the meeting, I just wanted to clarify, if we haven't already, if it's possible to have any of the revisions or extra information that was going to be from that Pam Murphy's application, if that could come back to us, please. When we
Yes.
have-
So If they do not get to that application this evening, then yes, it can be placed on next week's agenda, and I will make a note of that for Kadeem to do for me.
Thank you.
That's how those would work. That's provided that she gets it to me, today or within a timely manner. So I'll make a notation of that for next week.
Yeah, I didn't like the feeling of that. I didn't understand it.
It reminded me of a, one of those shotgun house lots where it's a really deep lot and there's a long fence that divides the two, except without anything on it, it's like even worse than that. So it was a scary sight to me on its own.
Good point.
May
Yep.
I ask a question? It has to do with Pam's fence that she has put up. Would you all look at that? The green fence, because I couldn't understand why it was there. She may be upset.
I don't think it's Pam's. I think it's on I think it's between lots 1 and 2. And I think it's the Keoghs probably just lining up where they want the fence to be for theirs. I think Pam's had a different kind of a fence because remember that she has to fence in the area so that her Zumba or her lawnmower thing won't go outside of her bounds. So I know she had a fence. It was really cool. It contained the roving lawnmower.
They were cute. I think a couple of them wandered into dangerous positions. But I was going to say about the lot depth too is, 40 feet sounds like a lot, but putting it in perspective, that's 2 car spaces deep.
Exactly. It's the driveway, what used to be the driveway leading into 50 and 52 Burnell Street was 40 feet wide on Burnell. But that was the driveway that went into Anita Damon's house off Burnell that somebody, I think Ed Toole actually turned into a house with a pool, with a gazebo, with a, guest cottage. And that's all a shotgun. So I'm kind of looking at this as a similar project.
Yeah, it's one thing to look down the edge of it, but to see across the face of it is a different animal.
Yeah.
Okay. Could I have a motion to approve our comments for this particular meeting?
I'll make that motion, Mary.
All right, thank you.
Hang on a second.
Thank you. All in favor, I will call your names. Caroline,
Yes,
Mary,
Yes?
Angus,
Hi.
Clement,
Yes,
Rob says
Don't-
yes, it's unanimous.
Don't forget camp this week, Friday. Very
All right.
excited. Our
Not-
our trainers are very, very excited to meet you all, so virtually.
and the other thing is the map, the Sconset map.
Yes,
Right.
that will be on for next week. Take a look at it. I am so glad that our GIS coordinator was able to find it. So that was vetted through the update. Actually, I need to provide that to fellow staff members in here. So anyway,
Yeah,
yes.
and Holly, I'm not sure that I could get that contact. It didn't, maybe it wasn't attached or something. I couldn't successfully pull it up to see.
Okay. Well, what you sent me, I forwarded along, and then I got
Okay,
boom
great.
the color one. So
Great,
we have
great,
it.
great, great.
Yes.
That's what I like. And if it's on next week, then we'll see it.
Yes, it will be.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks
All right.
all.
you everybody.
Thanks, everybody. I
Bye.
guess we
Motion for
to
adjourn.
Yeah,
Seconded.
thank you. All in favor? Caroline,
Bye.
Yes.
Mary,
Bye.
Angus,
Hi.
Clement,
Yes.
Rob, yes.
Thank you
All
all.
right, thanks, everybody. And I'll probably drop in on this afternoon's meeting. Just the playground's coming.